There have been dozens of food processing facilities which have experienced some type of fire, some type of explosion, or even in one case, a plane crash. And here's exactly what we found. On January 11th of this year, you had a fire at the Deli Star in Fayetteville, Illinois. Then, 2 days later, on January 13th, you had another fire at Cargill Neutrino plant, which is in Louisiana. About 2 weeks later, you had another fire on January 31st over at the Winston Weaver Company located in the Carolinas. Then, about 2 days later, on February the 2nd, you had another fire at the Wisconsin River Meats plant, which is located in Mauston, Wisconsin. Then, 2 weeks later, on February 16th, you had another fire at the Louis Dreyfus Company located in Indiana. Then, about a week later, on February 22nd, you had another fire occur at the Shearer's Food Company over in Oregon. Then, about a week later, on March 1st, you had another fire at the Nutrien AG Solutions, which is located in Washington. Then, about 2 weeks afterwards, on March the 16th, you had a fire at a Nestle plant located in Arkansas. 2 days later, on March 18th in Indiana, you had a fire at a Walmart fulfillment center. Then about a week later, on March 24th, you had another fire at the Penobscot-McCrum located in Maine. Then 5 days later, on March the 29th, you had a large-scale blaze at the Maricopa Food Pantry located in Arizona. On April the 12th, you had a fire at the East Conway Beef and Pork Company located in New Hampshire. Then, 1 day later, on April the 13th, you had another fire at Taylor Farms in California. And then lastly, 5 days after this fire in California, there was another fire at the Azure Standard in Oregon. As these different stories of fires and explosions damaging major food processing plants across the entire country were beginning to circulate on social media, the FBI's Cyber Division, they came out and they published an official notice warning Americans about the increased cyber attack threats on agricultural cooperatives. Here's specifically what the FBI wrote in their statement, which was published just last month in April of 2022. Quote, "Ransomware actors may be more likely to attack agricultural cooperatives during critical planting and harvest seasons, disrupting operations, causing financial loss, and negatively impacting the food supply chain. 2021 and early 2022 ransomware attacks on farming co-ops could affect the current planting season by disrupting the supply of seeds and fertilizer. A significant disruption of grain production could impact the entire food chain since grain is not only consumed by humans but also used for animal feed. In addition, a significant disruption of grain and corn production could impact commodities trading and stocks." And so, as they mentioned in this statement, damage to the agricultural industry could translate to damage to the entire economy. Of course, I'd like to give a big shout out to both Mr. Eric Schumacher, because he helped put together all this research, as well as Mr. Alan Stein. He actually called some of the individual food processing centers themselves